So this is removing the light on a 2021 Dodge Ram. This is the rear dome light. I went ahead and pulled this down so you can see what I'm doing. You pull this down from the passenger side. Once you pull this down, you shouldn't need any special tools. If you see this little arm here, this bends up. You don't want to break it, but once you pull this down a little bit, you're going to stick your finger up in there and push that up in order to get it down through the hole. Once you get that through, this side just comes down and out. So what I want to do is I've got blue LEDs under the back and under my front seats there. I want to change this dome light. I'm not sure if I'm going to change the overhead up front, but these are chipsets, so they're not like bulbs, so you can't just pop the bulb out and pop a bulb in it. So you've either got to find a chipset and actually pull that apart and replace the chipset, which isn't that difficult to do. The problem is finding a blue chipset that'll fit. Or you can do what I'm going to do. I'm going to use some transparent film that's made for light bulbs. All right, when you go to unhook your wiring harness here, on the back, this is where my thumb is where it plugs in at. There's a little catch, which is, get the light on it right here. What you have to do is you have to stick a small screwdriver in from behind. Little micro driver. Sorry, I'm losing my camera angle here. Slide this in from the back, and once you get to the front, pull up on it, and then your harness will pop out of there. That'll let you drop the rest of your light fixture down and out. So what I want to do is I want to take this transparent color film, which is made to change the color of light bulbs, and I want to put this over top of my lens, like so, or my LED chiclet, and then put the cover back on it, changing the light to a blue. Now the way this film works, if you double it over, it gets more blue. If you triple it over, it gets more blue. Basically, the darker blue you want it, you stack it, or you fold it more, you layer it more. Now before I get hit with all the bad comments, I failed art class, so my cut is not going to be pretty. I thought about putting it on a Cricut and having the Cricut cut it out. I haven't done it yet, but it's a possibility. You could trace this out. You could spend as much time as you want. You could X-Acto knife it. I'm not going for perfection here. I just want to show you how to get the color in there, and you can make this as pretty or as nice or as neat as you want. So I've got my first piece cut. I'm going to actually put 3 layers on here just to make it a darker blue. I made a little notch around my button there. Again, I'm not an artiste, never claimed to be. If you wanted to stick this on, you could probably take a little bit of hot glue. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to get my glue gun out because I'm such an artist. Put a couple little drops on here just to keep the film from falling out while I'm trying to put it in place. I'm not going to goo my whole light fixture up. I'm not going to make a mess out of it in case I want to take it out ever. But I am going to put a couple drops on there just to hold each layer in place. This film also has a protective layer on it. If you get the same one I do, I'm not going to make you watch me peel it off because it's horrible watching me peel these off usually. But as you can see, there's a film on both sides of this just to protect it from scratches while you're cutting it and shaping it. So I'm going to cut 2 more of these out, and then I'm going to, like I said, just basically spot weld it in place with the glue. Once the cover's back on it, it's not going to move anyhow. It's not going to ever fall out because the cover's going to keep it in place. Just don't want it to fall out or move around while I'm trying to put it back up in. So I haven't pulled the film off yet, but that's basically what I've got for my cutout. I got to trim this piece up a little bit here, but all of them will fit in there. The cover will go over top of that. That'll snap back in, light will be blue. All right, and this is optional. I have not done this before, so may work, may not work, should work. Don't know why it wouldn't work, but just in case, if you ruin your part, don't hold me responsible for it, because I'm not claiming to know what I'm doing here. Pull my backing paper off. Again, I'm not going to glue this to pieces. You can glue it all you want to. I'm just going to make a few little spot welds. So a little drop there. Try not to trip it everywhere. Up there. F and art, remember? And then drop that in place. And again, you can make that a nice solid bead all the way around there if you wanted to. You can use a different adhesive. You don't have to use any adhesive at all if you don't want to. However you want to get that on there, entirely up to you. That was just my choice. So the first one's on. I left my film on this one so I can push down on it without getting it all nasty. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put like couple corners of hot glue on there just to keep it in place, and then put the next layer on. So there is my finished product. Well, finished as I'm going to make it. We're going to go out there, pop it back in, turn it on, see how well she works. I think it's going to turn out pretty darn good. One last thing I did when I popped this on, I just made sure my button was actually working before I get all the way out there, put it in to find out my button was actually hitting on something. And the last thing is, if you have problems getting this off, you can take a pair of pliers and squeeze this together and this cover will pop out. But if you just pull, it'll pop up out of there. It's just stubborn. So here's my almost dark look. And that is much better than it was. Making my front here, still got my domes, but my floor lights look pretty good. Now I'm gonna have to look to see how to get these plastic covers off here if I'm gonna do these. If I just take the film, I might be able to cut the film and overlay the film on top of these to where it actually looks pretty decent, but I'm not sure again exactly how to get these lenses off, so I'm gonna check into that. But for this video, that's how you do the dome light in the back.